Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for a brand new show, and I mean brand new. We ran a poll over the last week or so to replace Mawaru Penguindrum in the Wednesday slot, which I am keeping loosely as just the weird shit slot where anything that I have no idea where else it could go will go. So, in the interests of doing that, and in the interests of not having a total landslide victory like the last couple of polls I've put up have really ended up being, I put everything weird into one poll. I'll put up the eventual results of that poll there, with nothing that I thought would be like a clear, super easy landslide victor that I knew was more popular than the other shows on the poll or anything like that. So hopefully my intent was that everything has at least a little bit of a chance. And what happened was pretty interesting. A number of shows got more than 50 votes, and two shows in particular stayed almost neck and neck right up till the end of the poll, with Flip Flappers coming in first and leaving Natsume Yujincho to retain its rightful title as king of second place. Sorry, Natsume. I'm sorry, Natsume's Book of Friends, and I'm sorry, obviously, I know you're waiting for it, but it's a poll. It's what happens. So I ran this poll, and Flip Flappers won, and this is quite delightful for me because I know nothing about Flip Flappers at all whatsoever. I missed it when it was airing. I remember people vaguely talking about certain elements of it that they liked, and I remember seeing like the edges of the sort of hype cycle around it, but I remember absolutely nothing about what the content was of this show. Just people talking about, oh, did you see Flip Flappers episode blah blah blah, yes, blah 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 blah. All right, great. I know nothing about this show going in, so as I usually do, I went ahead and I looked at the Mal page and I just ignored the synopsis and I started going through the staff list and whether this was an original or any of that shit. It's an original anime. Fuck yeah. Awesome. Lovely. It's by Studio 3 Hertz. All right, cool, sure. Studio 3 Hertz is a studio that was founded in 2013 by ex-Kinema Citrus members, and has done a number of things, none of which have been super duper ultra amazing that I've seen so far, but hey, we're about to watch Flip Flappers, so maybe that'll be a chance for this studio to really show its stuff. I thought that Gun Girl Alternative, which they did, was pretty okay. As far as a Sword Art Online adaptation goes, it's about as good as you're gonna get. And then this most recent season, they are doing A3 Spring and Summer, which after the first episode, I thought was an entirely passable adaptation that had no major problems with it. It just super wasn't my thing at all. Pretty ambivalent opinion on the studio. I look at the director, it's Kiyotaka Oshiyama. This show is his directorial debut. He had never directed a show before this, had some episode director credits and plenty of key animation credits, and seemed to be a real up-and-comer in the key animating side of things. Since the production of Flip Flappers has gone on to create his own studio, Studio Durian, which has yet to make its debut, but has a short film slated for whenever. At some point, they will come out with things. So, kind of looking forward to that, depending on how we like Flip Flappers and Kiyotaka Oshiyama's actual, like, debut as a director, because that's what we're about to watch. The rest of the staff list. Usually I can go through and find at least like, oh, I recognize the color designer. They also worked on this thing. I can get some kind of an idea from that. Nope, not a single member of the staff that I actually recognize any of the works from. So we're blind as a bat. Great. Excellent. That excites me. So given that my usual methods of finding information about this show didn't work, I had to fall back to some of the other things, which are the tags that are listed on Mal, which, as most of us know, are pretty close to useless, and the photos that are listed on Mal, which, as most of us know, are really fucking tiny. So I've gone and found bigger versions of those photos, and we're going to go through them right now, and I'll edit them into the video so you know what I'm looking at. So first off, tags available on Mal. Sci-fi, adventure, comedy, magic. Lovely. Great. I think the tags on ANN were similar with a couple of added things, but I don't know. And then for the 4 images available on my anime list, in order, they're in a square, we'll go top to bottom, left to right. I've got bigger versions of each of the images found, which I just did Google image search to find. The first one is the 2 girls with what look like almost like insect-like firefly wings, and the blue-haired girl is ahead, and the pink-haired girl is like falling, and they seem really excited, and there are these weird glowy things things behind them. They're both wearing what I would call magical girl chic, which is it's magical girl stuff that they're wearing for sure, but it's sleek and chic and not over designed, and I quite like these outfits, honestly. They're pretty cool, and they kind of give me some Symphogear vibes, just because the little thing on the chest that looks like a butterfly or a flower or an insect or something, it's pretty neat, and she's got the similar thing in her hair. The characters are vibrantly colorful, bright pink, bright blue, and when I see pink and blue, and then beneath them I see a character with like orangish reddish hair and a character with bluish hair, I think Maho Shoujo. So given that we've got magic in the tags, and stuff like that, I'm going to say that this is a Maho Shoujo. And it looks like one, and that's exciting to me. I am interested in how we're going to play off of the magical girl types and archetypes and tropes and things. Looking down at the characters below, there are a couple of white-haired characters who just look like people. I'm not really sure. One of them has their arm in a cast with a face on it, which is pretty weird, and I don't know. There are lots of little cute character details and things everywhere, and then there's this weird yellow cart thing that seems to have a camera attached to a selfie stick that can move around, and a flying green bunny thing that looks like the thing that's on top of shit. What's her fucking name? Peas. Yay. Shit. Peas Monogatari. I'm gonna die. I can't remember a Monogatari character. Ononoki, thank you. Thank you, Google. I feel like an idiot. It looks like the thing on top of her head. So maybe it's like a bag with ear. It looks like a bunny. I don't know. So they look like magical girls. Each one of them has one leg covered in white stuff, like a what do you call that? A stocking. And then the other leg is like normal skin color with a gradient into black. That's pretty weird. I think it implies that the two of them are like opposite halves of the same power. So maybe in sort of a cure black, cure white kind of way, they need each other to transform into Maho Shoujo. But I don't know. And that's just the first image. The second image, there is a gigantic like tunnel that seems to go forever, and it seems to be cobblestone, which is weird, and then there are doors throughout it, which honestly gives me almost a Dorohedoro vibe, with like doors to alternate realms. It seems very magically, and then the entire image is flipped over the axis upon which they're holding hands, making it seem as though like one of them is coming from the real world, the blue-haired girl, and the other one is coming from some kind of a magically world, the orange-haired one. Okay, cool. Nothing else to go off of on this one. There is another floating gem thing, but I'm not sure if that's just fluff or important. But it is kind of front and center in the screen, and they're holding hands. So I'm going to guess that we can at least put the Yuri goggles on if we want to for this show. Neat. The third picture is them once again in their Maho Shoujo-esque garb, both of them laying half in and half out of a shallow pool of water with like flower petals sitting on it, so that there's a clear indication that they're like half in and half out of it. Again, makes me think of multiple worlds and stuff. I don't see anything else in this image that's really notable or that I can go off of. It seems like the same outfits and stuff. I will just say again that I think the character designs are pretty cute. They got these ridiculously large eyes, and when they're smiling, ridiculously large mouths that makes them rather cute and inviting, and I don't know, like extremely expressive, maybe overly expressive, and almost give me a triggery Gainaxy post Gurren Lagann type of vibe, or post Diebuster-y type of vibe. And then the final picture, which I could only find one small image of, the red-haired girl is pulling the blue-haired girl along out into the world. Actually, that was a common theme through a couple of them, that she was moving ahead of her and pulling her along, and that she's carrying like a surfboard under her arm. I don't know. The green rabbit thing makes another appearance. The yellow camera cart thing makes another appearance, but they're in school uniforms just running down some stairs. Sure. Those are the four pictures I have. Those are all my inklings. Two main girl characters, one blue, one reddish. That makes me think Maho Shoujo. The fact that they seem to be transformed either in school uniforms or in these like dressy skirty thingies with the weird stocking stuff going on makes me think Maho Shoujo. I'm expecting something in the vein of almost Kill la Kill-esque? That's my best guess. An interesting take on certain Mahou Shoujo archetypes and dynamics. We shall see. So, I don't know if that was actually fun or boring, but I thought I would just show my thought process on all of the information that I have going into this first episode of the show, all of which will probably be thrown away by the end of this first episode of this show, because I don't know what we're actually gonna be in for here. But that's what I've got. That's what I'm working off of. Studio 3 Hertz, Kinotako Oshiyama's directorial debut, 4 pictures on Mal, tags. That's all I've got. Flip Flappers. I have no idea what the title would mean. If we are going with the idea of like 2 realities or 2 dimensions, then maybe flipping and flapping between them. Or the flapping could refer to the wings that they seem to sprout when they're in Mahou Shoujo mode. The little green thing could be sentient. It could be their fairy type creature to make a precure thing, or their QB-esque creature that gives them powers. I don't know. That's all I have. Now I'm stalling. I'm excited to start this, but I'm stalling. Okay, I'm always this way with a new show. It's always like a weird trepidation, excitement thing. It's butterflies in the stomach, you know? So, I've gone and downloaded the entirety of Flip Flappers. There are 13 episodes. I went and decided to grab the Von encode because it looks pretty good and has a lot of seeds. So if you want to grab the exact same encode that I have and the same subs and all that stuff, then go for it. That's the one. It'll be the one listed as most seeds on Nya if you search for it. Yeah, if it's a bad encode or the subs are terrible, let me know as soon as possible and I'll figure out a way to switch it up, but it should be all right. Let's watch this damn show already, all right? All right. So, I've got episode 1 of Flip Flappers up and ready to go. It's sitting at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions of this reaction as usual. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there, linked in the description, and a timer-based version that will be up on YouTube. Timer-based version will have discussion at the beginning and discussion at the end. Picture-in-picture version will not, so mix and match as you see fit to get the content that you want. And if you want to sync up your own copy of these episodes with the timer-based version so that you can minimize my ugly mug and maybe watch the actual episode full screen, then go ahead and get your copy of the first episode of Flip Flappers ready to go, because we're about to start it. There will be a beep beep timer at the beginning here, which will go boop 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 beep, and on the beep and the green light will be the first frame of the video actually playing on my screen, so if you want to sync it up on your screen, you can smack the button when you hear the sound. Cool? Cool. Let's do this. Okay, turn on information gathering mode and start the beep beep timer. Hourglass with 2 faces. And it's that optical illusion-y type of thing where you can't tell if it's a vase or faces. Hello, blue character. I don't like this classroom. It's claustrophobic. I like her haircut. Hello, side character. Ah, English class. That was sudden. Where the fuck are we? Okay, Papika. Was that another blue-haired girl? Okay, so she's seeking her partner. She's got people in the ear. Dr. Salt. Ha! This is awesome. Okay. Genki and Goofy. Uh-huh. You see something weird. Pika Pika. Anything to do with her name? Alright, we got OP. In the first episode. Hello, Color. Hello, Gray. Oh, is this the world before? I'm gonna bring color into it once they meet each other. Oh, that looks like depression. Okay. And time ticks away. I can be anything if I'm with you. Cool. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, absolutely definite trigger vibes. Lots of vibes. That was hair growing? They're going a little nutty with the background animation. I like it. All right. Hello, depression. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Oh, hi. She's you? Not you. She has a freaking wood chair on top of an auto wheelchair. All right, so this is the future. Slightly. Coconut. Future question mark? All right, Nato. And that was the little green thing in the cage, right? Huh? This is some loud silence. Cute shoes. Cute town. I just want a K-On shot of Yui just like... Ah, hello. Nobody else can see her. That was fucking loud. Gone. Okay. Alright, she's got the little green thing as a keychain. Hello, Rando. Yeah, you see a girl flying by on a surfboard. You'll wonder what's up. Name acquired. Ha. Ha. Ha? Is she trying to decide on a club or a school? Oh, hello. I like her hair. She's like Gyaru Ritsu. Oh, it's a work experience thing. Oh no, it's a school thing. Okay, it's a school thing. High school or college? Hi, Papika. You a little creepy, girl. Ooh, let's investigate the dark, creepy place. That seems like a good idea. I'm sure there's nothing threatening or evil here. Oh, hello, tube. Monster, rawr. Oh. Baka. Oh! Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Huh? How can you say no to that? Hey. Hey. What? What are you? Okay, Mr. Salt. Oh, they have to sync up. Oh, please no. Henshin? Nope. Welcome to the monochrome verse. No. End of a tunnel? Okay. Okay. Welcome to the weird. It's like The Wired, but weird. You're somewhere else, dude. Wonder who that voice is. Sounds familiar. To wait, what? Sure. Let's take a fly. That thing's got a weird noise. I doubt you have a cell phone service here. Yeah. I don't think it's a dream, dude. Come on, be happy. The snow? It's candy? So, this is an imaginary land. pure illusion? Is this manifested by your own willpower or desire or imagination in some way? Seems likely. Yeah, roll that snowball up. And one more? There it is. Ah, yeah, catch yourself. Mm-mm. Cool, I don't know. This place doesn't exist. Hmm. Sorry, what? That's not ominous at all. Are we Hansel and Greteling it? Yeah. Whoops. That's not ominous at all. And what is it continuing to search for? Alright, we made ourselves a little camp place. Yeah. Any specific treasure? Oh. A. Ah, there's that ominous. As though the realm itself is rejecting you. Sorry, Buchan. Whatever the fuck you are. Ha. Let's just leave that there. What was that? Uh, Gotta fight it. This could lead to our first henshin. Or that. That's dope. That's dope. Nope. She's just having fun. Migrating? Gotcha. Whoa! This is tense. Smack. Kokona? Get the fuck out of there. Oh, wait, no, that's Poppycat. Fuck! Glow on the left thigh. Okay. Henshin. My Henshin senses are tingling. Oh! And her hair grew. And they're broken. Hey. Yeah, you're flying. Are we falling? Are we falling right now? We're falling. Okay. There we go. And through to the other realm. Right? Back to home? Yeah. What a crazy dream. That wasn't a dream. What the fuck is that? Oh, that's the gem that we saw in the pictures. It is important. Sure. How can I say no? Never mind. Okay, here's the ED. Whoa. Tripping. That's a creepy giant monster. Fairy tale-y. Still a minute. That was a cool ED. Yeah! Is it the thing that grants wishes? Oh, we got some baddies. Hi, Salt. Aw, are you actually a bad guy? Shock. Okay, it was the net. Got weird armored automatons, and our new pair is split. Pure converter. Okay. I'm ecstatic. It's the first episode that I really like. I mean, I really like it. It's weird. This is a weird one, man. But there's some definite skill going on here. How do I put this? This episode is perfectly tailored to show you only the bare minimum that you need to know to empathize with and understand these characters on the most basic level, and makes everything else a complete mystery. Makes you curious about everything else. It goes above and beyond what I think an episode 1 needs to achieve, which is to introduce its characters and world and make you invested in them. It does that, but it cuts out any exposition or moments of unnecessary dialogue that don't impart a specific emotional feeling that you get from these characters. And by cutting out all of that chaff, it goes laser focused on here's fun stuff, here are these fun characters doing fun stuff, what the fuck are they doing, and where are they doing it, and how is it working, and why? You don't know yet. And you have to be okay with that, and I'm okay with that. There are so many things that I do not at present know. Example, the fuck is Buchan? I don't know. He's some kind of thing. He just goes around with her. Why did she have a flying surfboard? 'Cause what are the Hoarfrost things doing when they're running into the water? I don't know. Who cares? It creates an amazing action sequence. You don't know that. What is the land of pure illusion? Meh. There's some hints in the name. It's a land of pure illusion. But I don't know. Who dat? That blue-haired girl with the same kind of suit that Papika is wearing. I don't know. Is that an alternate version, world version of Kokona? Could be. But this one's a bust. That one can't be her partner. Okay. Do we ever find out anything more about that? Nope. There's just enough here to put the seed of a question into your mind. And that's pretty cool. Where is she existing? What kind of organization is she working with? Who the fuck are these people? We don't know. It's just interesting. And all it does is show us that she is gleeful and joyous and ultra Genki all the time, regardless of circumstance. And even the way the music is structured around Papika when she's around, she almost interrupts other scenes, other sequences with her arrivals and her musical cues, which are very unique and very distinct from the rest of the music of the show so far. Even into the really exhilarating battle sequence, there's like a light chiminess to the music cue for it. As far as structuring a first episode for a mysterious, magic-filled world that we're supposed to see and wonder at, this is well beyond perfect. The elements that show us the magical world that they are able to exist in and inhabit, and the way that they give in to playing in it, are fantastic and fascinating and wonderful. the multiple little hints at fairy tales as like an inspiring element with the Hansel and Greteling. I think they're little chocolates or something. And then throughout the ED, there's a lot of imagery that uh makes me think of like when we see, yeah, this moment here, we've got like the classic witch's cottage almost, like this fancy house with the almost candy or sweets making up most of it, and then the looming monstrous creature behind it, which could be different. It could be a different thing, but it just gives me a fairy tale vibe, um, all around. There is a lot going on in this first episode, and I have the distinct feeling that some of the things that we see in this first episode are going to come back to us and make more sense in hindsight. Um, the thing that sticks out most is the boat sequence where she is alone on a boat in the water, and we see it from here. The light is there, it's empty, and just because of the way we frame things, we go from seeing her alone on the boat, somber and melancholy. She's got the grayed out eyes, sort of just going forward, not of her own volition, through a misty fog that she can't really see through. And then another character appears and her face is hidden from us. But as she turns slightly, she says, "Welcome back," and it sounds like her own voice. Okay. No idea what to think of that. We have some mild indications that this might be a futuristic world slightly. The phone that she uses seems to be a little bit more advanced than current ones. I don't know. Could not be. Then we see this hamster cage with the little green thing in it. So she seems to be keeping it as a pet, but also doesn't seem to know that it's there. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Because this is a first episode, it strikes me that they're probably just going to throw a bunch of information, a bunch of interesting things at the wall to get you intrigued. And then episode 2 will probably start with a little expositional thing that gives us a little bit more grounding. But because of the way we did the cliffhanger with the robot boys stealing off our characters and splitting them up, it could be straight into action and drama from that point forward, and we might never get really solid answers for what the hell is going on and how does this universe work. Everything in the world that she inhabits feels simultaneously like old and new. It's like European style houses with almost old timey type of wooden shutters and things, but then there's modern tech in the tramways and things. It's strange and interesting and eclectic and magical in its own right. Then we get the appearance of these two, who we see briefly in the OP playing, I think, a stand-up bass and a piano. And they notice Papika. We cut back to them. They have a weird conversation that makes no sense in or out of context for now. She's got the weird cast arm thing. They look back and she's gone. What? All right. So Kokona is in a state of inability to choose. One could say flip-flopping between various options. It seems like she's choosing a high school. That seems to be what she's doing. Because I don't think there are many like all-boys colleges. So we'll assume that they are junior high students or middle school students going into their first year as freshmen in high school. All right, and she's having difficulty choosing. She's got this character who's a friend of hers, who I really like the design of. She actually reminds me. I said Gyaru Ritsu, but that's not actually what she reminds me of. She reminds me of the Yankee character Saki from Zombieland Saga. I think that's her name, Saki. Zombieland. Yeah, Saki Nikaido. Yeah, she reminds me of her because she's got the fun colored hair strips and the blondiness. But this character has the uppy thing, which Ritsu has, and all that jazz. I don't know. I really like all of the character designs that we've seen in this show, at least the notable ones. She's alone, she's alone, she's alone, outcast, left out, but Kokona but Papika is looming and looking. That reminds me of oh geez. There's a specific movie box or poster with a with a fuzzy face visible through a steamy window. Is it the original Grudge poster? Ju-on? No, that's not quite it. There's some horror movie that looks like that. Actually, is it the Human Centipede poster? Yeah, actually it is. That is exactly what I was thinking of. The horrifying poster for the Human Centipede viewed through what kind of looks like shower glass or something like that. That's what it reminds me of. It's real spooky, real creepy. I mean, I like Papika at the moment, but her whole scenario seems a little more potentially sinister than she knows. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like she's presented to us as such a naively push forward, do it at any cost, work for your friends, happy-go-lucky Genki-ish character that halfway through this season we're gonna have a break the cutie moment when she realizes that she's been working for the bad guys the whole time. Could see that. Both of these characters super well characterized from the beginning. We already understand Kokona pretty well. She's mildly depressed at a crossroads in her life, not sure what decision to make, and is confused and kind of lost in the world, feels kind of alone and isolated, and doesn't have anybody to talk to. Doesn't really seem to have any close friends. She's got people who know her and talk to her. The dark-haired girl who's like, we can still catch the train, and then they don't converse on the train or hang out or talk or anything. And then she seems to be closer with the blonde girl with the pinkish streaks in her hair, who seems to be hanging around her more. But again, they don't really seem to converse or have much of a relationship or any conversation. So Papika's appearance creates that for her. All right, and then we've got our wild, I guess, transmission sequence. It's not a transformation. They get moved from from our world into theirs. I assume it's our world, from a world into this one. Let's just go with that. Be a little more vague with it because we don't have all the information at the moment and might never. Oh boy. Okay. So back to the beginning, because I'm jumping around all over the place, and I apologize for that, but I kind of have to cover the things that I want to cover. So we go from very dramatically different scenarios introducing our two characters. Kokona is working on a test and forced to be silent and is just clickety-clacketing away. The air of this test room, it's so small and cramped and claustrophobic with the fluorescent lights illuminating everything. It sucks. I hate it. And then the incessant just tapping of graphite on paper as you get in a testing environment is ugh, ugh. It feels very and is very gray, bland, kind of boring, not what she wants at the moment. And then we're introduced immediately to Papika in the midst of an insane chase sequence through a background animated tunnel, with people doing the guy in the chair thing from behind and telling her what she needs to do as she goes and searches for a new partner, which will eventually, of course, lead to her finding Kokona. Okay. Very first shot of the show is pretty interesting. Believe that this is that optical illusion of a chalice, right? Optical illusion, chalice, faces. Yeah. Yeah, the Rubin vase. Ambiguous or bistable two-dimensional forms. Okay. Okay, we're doing this for a reason. Like, you... You don't use a shot like this as the very first shot of your show unless you're going to use it for a reason. And the fact that this one is so recognizably Rubens vase, which I didn't know the name of before this, but I knew it was that, an ambiguous or bistable two-dimensional form, which The visual effect generally presents the viewer with two shape interpretations, each of which is consistent with the retinal image, but only one of which can be maintained at a given moment. This is because the bounding contour will be seen as belonging to the figure shape, which appears interposed against a formless background. If the latter region is interpreted instead as the figure, then the same bounding contour will be seen as belonging to it. So, we're saying depending on where your focus is in the world can look... in this scene, but in the show, the entire show or the entire universe that you experience can be looked at, depending on your focus, as being one thing or the other, but it is simultaneously both things combined or overlaid. Which, it seems, given the universal transmission that we seem to do to the world of pure illusion, it seems that we're dealing with multiple parallel universes, which may or may not be mutually exclusive. Like, they may exist at the same time in the same place, and you may be able to experience life or existence in both of them, or either of them, but not both of them at the same time. We'll have to see. There's some weird implications of that, and I wonder how physicsy we'll get with it. Whether this will be more psychological or more sciencey. I don't know. But all of that is in the first frame. Ha 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 ha! It's like they put thought into making this show. It's crazy. Who does that? Who puts thought into the media that they create? Okay, and then dramatic contrast and juxtaposition. Painful silence to loud as fuck chimes and alarms, leading into running footsteps, and then the music kicks in. And it's bouncy and goofy and almost circusy in its charming weirdness. We just are thrown a barrage of insane images. This girl with a surfboard that seems to have rocket boosters on it, flippity-flappiting up on top of it, and oh shit, this is awesome. Instantly go from what the fuck is going on to this is absolutely dope, with this entire background animated tunnel cut and her bursting out into the sky, leaving a shimmer of sparkles, which eventually Kokona will see. And she is interested in the sparkling lights, and in saying that, says her name. Mostly. Pika Pika. Mostly. Mostly. Mostly come out at night. Mostly. I'm sorry. Weird aliens joke. Alright. Again, differences. We've got lots of gray. Actually, I didn't notice. Did we really do that in the OP sequence? We kind of did. I was actually... Since this OP starts out so gray, I mean, it starts out with bright, brilliant colors and a disco ball sequence, but then we get gray clouds, gray characters, deeply low saturation, gray character who I don't recognize. Oh, wait, no, it's the girl with the pink stripes. She's in on this. She's somehow involved. Cool. Good to know. Gray. And I thought over the course of the story of the OP, if you consider the OP itself as telling a story a little bit, that the two of them were going to meet and it was going to become a burst of colors, but we didn't quite do that. We just ended up doing some fucking awesome action sequences like this one. That's pretty cool, yo. This moment where she kind of just takes off. Right there. And just whoosh down. That's dope. Is that one of the characters, the white-haired characters? Seems like just like rock solid still shooting rockets everywhere. I don't know. That's fucking strange. That's the other white-haired character. And then there's this sequence with the insane background animation just tumbling through space. Look at that. Oh, and then she's got a giant sword blade thing. Okay. Cool. All this to say, there are some ridiculous cuts in this OP. And some cool fire, and some crazy weird stuff, and some, like, Ku Klux Klan members who are clearly evil. Dr. Salt or whatever, and some guy who seems like a younger version of him, or something similar, or a relative. Unknown. And then these sort of mangled, weird shapes that aren't trees. What the fuck? Okay, and then the tunnel, the tube, more background animation, running. Fucking awesome. Alright, and then we end it out into Coconut alone, dreaming in a strange space, meeting a character that resembles her and sounds like her, but may or may not be her. Could possibly be a previous entity that carried the same power that she did. Or we could have time things. I think those are all viable. It's probably none of the above, though. Weird stuff. Slight awkwardness with family. Slight awkwardness alone. The moment of revelation, which she then can't get out of her head as she goes through the rest of her day, but she continues going on through the rest of her day solemnly. Gets left out in basketball, doesn't seem to want to compete or play, but is continuously helping out teachers and stuff without necessarily being asked or anything. So, she's a good girl. She's a good girl, but she's got some heavy-hearty stuff that's going on that's kind of heavy on her heart. And then we enter this location where a ray of sunshine spotlights a strange pipe thing in the middle of the forest place, and she decides to hang out there for a little while, because why not? And then Papika appears and smells her and tells her she seems really cool, and then invites her along with her, at which point Buchan gropes them, kind of? A little bit. We get Simon from Gurren Lagann grown up and turned into a bad guy with a weird computer that has, like, vacuum cells, or vacuum tubes built into it for no reason. Okay. And, yeah, it gets one of them reflected in each of his sunglass eyes, although I guess it's technically one piece of glass that goes all the way across Gurren Lagann style. They sync up some kind of waveform, some kind of compatibility thing going on here, and implying that if they weren't compatible, that Coconut would probably be dead, because we saw that other girl who was dead, seemed dead, when Papika was running from places. So this does seem a little bit sinister. And why does this whole organization need two girls to go into this magical realm world and find a thing that grants wishes? I'm sure it's for nothing nefarious. It's probably just gonna wish for the peace of all humanity and the good of humankind. That sounds right. I'm sure it's nothing. We get clear differences in the way that they're acting. Papika is laughing and giggling at Buchan essentially tickling them, and Kokona seems rather distressed, especially when he starts going for the skirt area. Please don't. And then a burbling bubble of... Also, this cut of them all going into the tube is ridiculous. A burbling bubble of random black goop takes them down a tunnel through a strange, very fast acid trip into a monochromatic space where they interact with each other once more until they wander their way out to the one light that they can see into a snow-covered landscape apocalypse place where Papika immediately begins laughing, giggling, and playing. This whole cut of her running and tumbling in the snow and then eventually tumbling that, like, jacket that she has off and ending up in what she is normally wearing, which is kind of like a wetsuit almost, is awesome and super character-y, and actually reminds me more than anything of the cut in Ponyo, where Ponyo is running across fish made of water, which I've seen a couple of times. Reminds me deeply of that particular cut. It's pretty cool. Great thing. None of the characters ask each other any questions or give any answers. They're not like, what really is this place? Oh, it's... Nope, we don't get that information this episode, and that's good. I think that's a great idea, because it means we are fiending for that information come next episode. Wonderful. Papika continues going on and on being the Genki one, and pulling Kokona behind her, as one would. And it's pretty fucking awesome. There's no cell service here, because this place doesn't exist. Sort of. And it's just kind of wonderfully goofy. She is infectiously Genki, and that's great. The snow here is sweet, so we're in like a Candyland type of place, which makes me think that the world of Pure Illusion has some kind of will agent to it. Like this is some kind of place created out of, I don't know, the perceptions, dreams, desires, or stories of humanity? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Could just be another dimension that exists, like, outside of our existence. I don't know. The one thing that strikes me as weird is the hoarfrosts that we talk about. The way that they dove into the ocean. That was very strange. Almost like fast-moving glaciers making their way inevitably toward the sea, toward sea level. Like there's some kind of weird element of almost mystical nature going on here. But I don't know. Because the snow is sweet, so fuck it. I just have no idea. In any case, it's an interesting setup. We get this goofy moment with the Hansel and Greteling into a really kind of awesome moment here. Well, she does ask, what is this place really, eventually, after we've already had the fun games here, but is given almost nothing. Aren't you scared? Nope, I've got you. She is immediately like glommed onto her, and that's wonderful. Hey, let's go on a treasure hunt. This'll be fun. There's a thing that smells nice and also grants wishes. I'm sorry, but wishes are real powerful things. You don't just grant wishes easy, and if you do get wishes granted to you, you're gonna have bad guys coming after you. That's just classic logic. We open up Buchan and almost like, is it Tin Man who doesn't have a brain? If I only had a brain. Do 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 do. If I only had a brain. No, it's the Scarecrow. Yeah, Scarecrow with a brain. Tin Man doesn't have a heart. Okay. It's real weird, and we change up the art style to show their shock, which works really effectively, I think. It's a strange moment, for sure. Buchan is a robot creature that is a brain. Oh yeah, there was also a moment when he spoke, and I thought I recognized the voice actor, so let's go and check that. Flip, flop, flip, flip, flappers. I've got the Mal page already up, so nice. Boo. Oh, it's listed as TT392, which may be a spoiler, sorry. And it is Kazuyuki Okitsu. I don't know who that is. I don't recognize any of your roles so far. Oh, he's in all kinds of things. I recognize him from some things. But I haven't seen like one role that I can peg him as. Oh, he's Seishin Muroi in Shiki. That's good enough. That gives me enough. I can work with that. Sure. Sure. Okay. Let's not waste time with that. This is real weird. Why is Buchan a brain? We just sort of ignore it in the context of the episode, and they close it as kind of a gag moment. Like, oh, let's just leave that for later. But I'm actually curious about that. That seems a little weird. Is he a former operative who was scrapped for parts? Literally? Maybe. Could be anything. But then we enter into our wonderful action sequence for the episode, which is quite cool. We got our surfboard flying girl versus a gigantic snowball, essentially, monster. And she is going for the glasses, doing something for her friend because she cares. And that's wonderful. And the tension is high, and the music is great and bouncy and almost dubsteppy and significant. This whole sequence where she does this flippity tumble, grabs the board under her arm, and continues running is excellent. We turn the Hoarfrost creature into our actual background, and then background animate the entire thing around our character running across it, with elements that are really reminiscent of particular cuts from Future Boy Conan when he's running on the airplane, and stuff like that. There's some homaginess going on here that's not quite close enough to be like a literal reference, but is pretty cool. And in the face of obstacles, she holds on tight and keeps going to get something for her friend, despite having been told that her friend cares more about her own safety than her just glasses, and eventually falls into the water, which cues off our semi-henshin, halfway henshin. Her left thigh begins to glow, and if I check the image that I had before, hold on. Yep, in the image that I had before, her left, the blue-haired girl's left thigh is the one that is covered by a stocking, and then the Papika's right leg is covered by a stocking. So that's something to do with transformation-iness. Cool, and it seems to be something that is innate within her that she did not know about. She screams, it goes kaboom, and then her hair grows, like a lot. Like a lot. Classic magical girl thing to do, Maho Shoujo thing to do. If you go and look at most Precure transformations, their hair will extend by a foot or two, at least. And if they have short hair, it'll extend quite a bit. So there's that going on. Her hair extends and looks badass. And this cut in particular is so Gurren Lagann. I know it's not exactly an uncommon thing to do, like, character eyes closed, facing camera, looking down-ish, and then opening eyes like this, but this is so Diebuster, so Gurren Lagann, so Gainax, so Trigger. It's so that, and I like it. I like it a lot. I'm actually kind of hoping for a bit of a Gainax pose at some point in this show. That would be dope. But she does a thing, screams out, angry, and turns herself into a fucking rocket. They embrace, and we have a really beautiful scene as they're together, getting real close. Put those goggles on. How'd you get like that? I don't know. And then they finally do the Looney Tunes look down and realize we're falling, at which point they fall through this universe back into their own, or Kokona's own. We don't know where Papik is actually from. Okay. Just had this thought when I was talking about the transformation-y thingy. If the land of pure illusion is a land that is ruled to some extent by human will, or dreams, or willpower, or power of imagination, then anger and emotion and things like that could manifest as superpowers, probably. Why not? If you're in a world that's entirely imaginary and you imagine yourself as real angry and real strong, you're going to be real angry and real strong. Imagine you can fly and you can fly, right? Maybe. But she emerges from the place carrying a crystal, a bright, glowing crystal. And then we have an almost Madoka-esque sequence where she sees Papika there, and it's kind of ominous how she's like there in the shadow that way. It's kind of creepy. I think it's intended to be, but then it becomes very sweet and cute. And we just do a shot, reverse shot, shot, reverse shot, shot, reverse shot of cuteness, and it's really cute. And then we get the CD, which is super unique, and I like it a lot, and I'm going to go listen to it again as soon as I'm done recording this video. We got all these little cute vignettes of animation going on the bottom half of the screen, and more still frames that we're panning across on the top half of the screen, which also kind of mirrors portions of the OP, right? Where we're split? Or does that only happen in the ED? That only happens in the ED. I'm stupid. Okay. It only happens in the ED. We are split. We've got the two characters interacting a lot in the bottom, and then weird, ethereal, mystical, magical shit like fairies and crazy plants and stuff, and strange patterns, and whirls of grass, and weird witch houses and things and stuff. There's a clear divide here between one world and another, and they're going to exist in both of them somewhat simultaneously. Maybe. I don't know. All right, and then we get our cliffhang stinger ending. What is pure illusion? I don't know. Immediately interrupted by what is that thing in your hand? Gives us a cut to the bad guys. This is the bad guys. A gigantic stepped pyramid thing with a giant black thing. If we hadn't already seen the clan member type of garb in the OP from a couple of creepy bad guys, we would now be seeing it at the bottom of the screen. These are the bad guys. We got the fucking Eye of Sauron up there, and a giant tower, and then immediate cut to Dr. Salt, or whatever. Mr. Salt? Dr. Salt? Whatever. Who has a little tiny fragment of this gem and wants more. More! And they have found a fragment, so there are more than one fragment. We netify one of our girls and some weird robot monster creatures, which look like the enemies in fucking Mars of Destruction, of all things for my memory to dredge up, that look like that. They do look like the enemies in Hametsu no Mars, which is ridiculous. And a trash truck is going by. I'm just going to keep talking. And then we get some goofy stuff, and then some interruptions, and some cool color stuff going on here with Pure Converter. Okay, and this episode was titled, what? What's the title of this episode? I don't remember. Pure Input. Okay, it is listed. Pure Input, Pure Converter. And I don't know what any of the other episode titles are, but I'm going to guess that they all start with Pure. Pure Illusion, Pure Input, Pure Converter. Converter of what to what? Are we referring to the mystical stone that we found? Is it some kind of pure converter that can be used to convert something into some form of energy? Or are we referring to the girls themselves? Whatever power seems innate in them, is that the ability to convert, like, say, ideas and thoughts into energy within pure illusion? Fun to speculate about, but I don't think we have enough information at the moment to actually say. All right. Overall take. I'm fascinated by the story and the things that have been shown to us so far. I feel like I was given just enough to sink my teeth into, but not enough to get a satisfying bite. So it's a pleasant taste, but it leaves me wanting more, which is a great thing for a first episode to do. I really like the character designs. The animation seems to be excellent when they decide to lean into it, whether that's character acting moments like the moment where Papika pops up from the pipe thing and scares the crap out of Kokona. It's just like, ah. Or the running sequences, or the sequence where Kokona is running across the snow and sheds her outer garb in just sheer joy. Just deep thought into the characters and their characterization, as well as some cool action sequences. Interesting stuff going on in the universe that may or may not ever be fully explored, but I'm sure we will explore a little bit more because we need a little bit more foundation to really understand this universe. Some sweet Yuri vibes. Overall, action-packed, bouncy, a little bit goofy, but not really comedic. Just some little moments. And overall fun with sort of shadows at the edges, in an almost early Madoka kind of way, where everything seems okay, but you know everything's a little bit off. There's something there that's a little bit weird and a little bit unexplained, and a little bit of darkness creeping in at the edges. And that's how I like it, because it makes me excited for what's to come. This whole pure illusion area that we're dealing with, don't know yet. I've said my thoughts on it a couple of times already. I think it seems to be some kind of parallel realm that is shaped by humans in some way, some kind of mental thing, but I don't know. We got about 1,000,000 mysteries and about 2 answers, and 13 episodes to wrap up a coherent and compelling story in this universe. So we'll see how it plays. I think that's all I have to say about Flip Flappers Episode 1. I'm sure more thoughts will come to my mind as this week moves along, and I'll have more to talk about going into Episode 2, probably. But for now, I think we're going to leave it here. We've been introduced to a new world and a new characters, and I really like it so far. I'm excited. This is one of those poll options that I really didn't know anything about going in, and I really liked this first episode, so I'm excited to see where it goes going forward. In any case, we should probably wrap up. If you're watching this on YouTube, and this is the first video in the series that you've been watching, the next episode of Flip Flappers, or the next reaction to it, I don't know if it'll be more than one episode, will be up a week early on Patreon. So if you want to go and check that out, you can check out the Patreon link in the description, and yeah, then you can get the episodes a week early, as well as vote in future polls to see what I watch next. And if you already are a supporter, thank you. I love you. You're the best. And I've been Teeaboo. This has been Flip Flappers Episode 1. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and I hope to catch you next week when we start with Episode 2 and see how far it takes us. See you next week. Peace.